Two photographs. One, a woman in LAPD blue, Stephanie Lazarus, the image of authority. The other, a glowing bride, Sherry Rasmussen, radiant with hope. Both women, captured in moments of promise, seem destined for separate lives. Stephanie, a rising police officer sworn to protect. Sherry, a newlywed, a nursing director building a future with her husband, John Ruetten. Their paths should never have crossed, yet fate would bind them in tragedy. One woman's future would be stolen, the other's life of service revealed as a facade. How did a protector become a predator? To understand, we must go back. Before uniforms, before wedding vows, back to a tangled relationship, a secret obsession. This is a story that begins with love and ends in betrayal. Two lives, two photographs, and a collision that would shatter them both. The answer lies in the shadows between these images. What darkness could hide behind a badge or a smile? The truth would take decades to surface. February 24th, 1986. John Ruetten returns home to chaos. The condo is ransacked. A wedding gift stereo is missing. Glass litters the floor. Then the unthinkable. Sherry Rasmussen, his wife, lies dead. She's been beaten and shot. Their new life ended in violence. LAPD arrives. It looks like a burglary gone wrong. Theories form. Two male burglars, a struggle, a tragic end. Detectives focus on finding these phantom assailants. But something doesn't fit. The coroner finds a bite mark on Sherry's arm. A desperate struggle. A saliva swab is taken, preserved in a freezer. In 1986, DNA is barely understood. The bite mark is noted, but the burglary theory dominates. Leads dry up. The case grows cold. Tunnel vision blinds investigators to other possibilities. The real killer walks free, blending into the city. The truth is there, frozen in evidence, waiting for science to catch up. The case file thickens, but answers remain elusive. The focus never shifts from the wrong suspects. The bite mark, a silent clue, is all but forgotten. Years pass, and the darkness deepens. The real story is buried beneath assumptions. The evidence waits, untouched, for someone to finally see it. The tragedy is compounded by missed opportunities. The killer remains hidden, shielded by a badge. Justice is delayed, but not denied forever. The truth will not stay buried. Before the murder, there was a love triangle: Stephanie Lazarus and John Ruetten, college sweethearts on and off for years. Stephanie was obsessed. John moved on. He met Sherry Rasmussen, fell in love, and married her. Stephanie couldn't let go. She confronted Sherry at work, an unsettling encounter. The obsession grew. Stephanie, now an LAPD officer, kept contacting John. She showed up unannounced, a constant, unwelcome presence. John tried to distance himself, but Stephanie's fixation deepened. Sherry felt threatened, telling her father, "If anything happens to me, you'll know who did it." Her fear was real. She was being stalked by someone with a badge and a gun. Reporting a police officer seemed impossible in 1980s Los Angeles. Sherry lived in fear, her warnings dismissed. The triangle was never balanced, just a straight line from obsession to tragedy. Stephanie's resentment simmered, unchecked. Sherry's premonition would soon become reality. The seeds of violence were sown in jealousy and denial. No one listened to Sherry's pleas. The consequences would be fatal. After Sherry's murder, her father, Nels Rasmussen, pleaded with detectives. He named Stephanie Lazarus, the jealous LAPD officer, as a suspect. He described the harassment, the fear, the motive. But the police dismissed him, clinging to the burglary theory. Why suspect one of their own? Nels's warnings were filed away, ignored. The investigation stalled, focused on the wrong suspects. The case went cold. The family's agony deepened. The Rasmussens knew the truth was being overlooked. Meanwhile, Stephanie Lazarus thrived, promoted, respected, building a new life. She wore her badge with pride, her secret buried deep. For over 2 decades, she lived untouched by suspicion, the perfect crime hidden in plain sight. The family's grief was compounded by injustice. The truth waited in silence. For 23 years, Sherry Rasmussen's murder was unsolved. The case gathered dust, nearly forgotten. But in 2009, the LAPD's cold case unit reopened it, searching for cases suited to new DNA technology. They found the old saliva swab from the bite mark. It was still preserved, a fragile hope. The lab ran a DNA analysis. The result: the killer was a woman, not a man. The original theory collapsed. Detectives revisited the case file, finding Nels Rasmussen's ignored warning. One name stood out: Stephanie Lazarus. The truth had been there all along. The investigation shifted, finally on the right path. The science had caught up to the crime. Justice was within reach. The suspect was now clear. Stephanie Lazarus, a detective still on the force. Investigators moved in secret, wary of tipping her off. They needed her DNA to confirm the match. Surveillance began. Detectives followed Lazarus, waiting for a discarded item. She tossed a cup in a public bin. They retrieved it, sent it to the lab. The DNA was a perfect match to the bite mark from 1986. The evidence was irrefutable. The killer had been hiding in plain sight, protected by her badge. The case was airtight. The grieving father's suspicions were vindicated. The truth, frozen for decades, had finally thawed. Now it was time to confront the killer. The investigation was ready to close in. The final piece had fallen into place. The secret could no longer be kept. The law would finally catch up to one of its own. The city braced for the fallout. Justice was about to be served. June 5th, 2009. Stephanie Lazarus is called to an interview room at LAPD headquarters. She thinks it's about an art theft case. The room is wired, the trap is set. Two detectives begin with small talk, then shift to the 1980s. They mention John Rueton. Lazarus admits she knew him. They bring up Sherry Rasmussen. Tension rises. Lazarus grows evasive, her composure slipping, and the detectives press, never revealing the DNA evidence. She denies involvement, but her body language betrays her. "Is this about me?" she finally asks. The detectives continue, giving her a chance to confess. She refuses. After nearly an hour, they arrest her for Sherry's murder. Disbelief and panic cross her face. Her weapon is removed. Her career is over. The law she once enforced now turns on her. The secret is exposed, all on camera. Stephanie Lazarus's trial in 2012 was a media sensation. The prosecution's case centered on the DNA match, undeniable proof. Witnesses described Lazarus's obsession and harassment. The defense attacked the evidence, claiming contamination and mishandling. They questioned the integrity of the investigation, but the science held. Sherry's father, Nels, testified, his warnings ignored, his grief palpable. The jury listened, moved by his words and the weight of evidence. Deliberations were swift. The verdict, guilty of first-degree murder. Lazarus showed little emotion as she was sentenced to 27 years to life. For the Rasmussen family, justice was finally served. The truth had prevailed, though the cost was immeasurable. The case closed a dark chapter, but the scars remained. Justice, though delayed, was not denied. The conviction rocked the LAPD and the public. How could a killer thrive within the police for decades? The case exposed failures. Warnings ignored, justice delayed. It forced a reckoning about police culture and accountability. The story became a cautionary tale. Evil can wear a badge. For the Rasmussen family, the verdict brought relief but not healing. Their perseverance is a testament to love and the pursuit of truth. The case reminds us, no secret stays buried forever. DNA technology unlocked justice, but the lesson endures. Listen to victims. Never give up on the truth. Sherry's story is a warning, and a call to remember those still waiting for justice. The past can be silent, but it is never truly gone.